Hi, and thanks for joining me. So today we're going to talk about that very, very important question: does size matter? The size of your attorney's law office, that is. So join me, we're going to talk about what to look for when you're hiring an attorney and what impact, if any, should the size of the attorney's office, the size of the support staff have on your decision as to whether or not to retain that attorney to represent you. Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm Peter Lamont. I am a business and personal law attorney, and I'm also the host of utlradio.com. I want to thank you for joining me today. And today we're going to look at the question about, what factors do you look at when you hire an attorney, and what impact does the size, the look of the attorney's office have on your decision to retain them? Now, really, what I should be saying is, what impact should it have on your decision to retain the attorney? All right, so let's talk for a second about the size, the physical size of an attorney's office. Oftentimes, when you don't know anything about the attorney, maybe it was a personal referral, or maybe you were driving down the street and you saw the attorney's office and you decided that you would go, see if they can help you. Oftentimes, the cover of the book might appear different than what's actually inside. Remember, don't judge a book by its cover. Well, it's true here when hiring a lawyer. So a lawyer could have a beautiful office, and all that might mean to you, the client, is that they pay a lot in rent, and maybe they're going to be charging you more to help them cover their overhead. Really, when you're looking at retaining an attorney, the size of their office should not really become a factor. Of course, if you are looking to hire a super large, maybe an international law firm where there are hundreds of attorneys and support staff, of course, they're going to have a larger office. They're probably going to have, an office somewhere in a city with some beautiful view. I used to work in one when I worked on Wall Street, where our conference room overlooked the Statue of Liberty. Now, that did not mean that the attorneys who were working there were better. Some of them were really, really good, but others were just mediocre attorneys. We just happened to have a nice conference room, and it overlooked the Statue of Liberty. But it's impressive to a lot of people. And of course, that again is on the large firm scale. But let's talk for a second about where most of us will end up, and that's with a small firm, a solo practitioner, or a mid-sized firm. When you are looking to retain an attorney like that at a smaller firm, size does not matter. I know plenty of attorneys who have very small but very nice offices, and they are exceptional attorneys, and they can help get you the best results possible. So, size of the office shouldn't matter at all. You could have a solo practitioner who has a small one-room office and do a great job. I'm not suggesting that you look at something like Better Call Saul, if you guys follow that show, where he's working out of the back of, I think it's a Korean nail salon, and he's got this little closet. I mean, of course, that has to say something. But size itself doesn't matter. What are the factors that you should look at then when visiting a lawyer's office for the first time? Well, you want to look at the organization and obviously the cleanliness. If you go into an office that is absolutely littered with papers and you can't even find the attorney's desk, that might say something about their organizational skills and the way that they handle their files. Now, there's always that person, that exception to the rule, who says, I work better when things are messy and I know where everything is. But again, that is the exception to the rule. I think in the practice of law and in business as well, the more organized you are, right? And this doesn't need to be like, container store organized, but the more organized you are as an attorney or a businessman, when you're able to put your hands on documents that you were looking for or a file that you were looking for, I think the more productive and more cost-effective you are. So, I've heard horror stories about clients going into an attorney's office and saying, oh my God, there were piles and piles of paper and it was awful. But the attorney, sold them the song and dance about, well, I know where everything is. And then they hire the attorney and it turns out that the condition of his office, the lack of organization, carried on through to the attorney's personality, and that's how the attorney handled the case. So, one red flag that I always would recommend you look at is the attorney's office, remember, size doesn't matter, but is it organized? Is it relatively or reasonably organized? Or does it look like a bomb went off? Because if a bomb went off in the office, then that's probably how the attorney practices as well. Can't find anything, and there's delays as a result of the lack of organization. Right, so that's something that you should consider. Now there's always this wild card of the size of the support staff. All right, so if we know that the size of the office doesn't matter, we do know that the organizational look of the office does have an impact. Now, what impact, if any, does the size of the support staff have? Again, okay, I think that you have to understand you're hiring the attorney, not the secretary or the paralegal or any other member of the support staff. I've known solo practitioners who have, 5 or 6 support staff, and the client only gets to talk to the attorney when they sign up for the closing or the case or whatever. Other than that, you are, just going to talk to the paralegal for the remainder of your case. And that can oftentimes be frustrating because you really, as a client, you want to talk directly to the attorney. You want to hear it from the attorney and know what's going on, not secondhand. And that's, I think, a very important factor. Now, are there attorneys that have large support staff that are functional, that serve a purpose, where they're not going to ignore you? Sure, there are. But what I'm suggesting to you is that you don't look solely at the size of the support staff and say, oh, this is where I want to be because he's got 5 paralegals and 2 secretaries. Honestly, who cares? Because again, you're going to be working with that attorney, and you don't necessarily want an attorney that's so busy bringing in work that they pawn everything off on the attorneys and the support staff. And then you, when you need to ask a question, or you feel upset or confused, or you don't know how to react to something, you call and you end up with the paralegal. So these are just some things that I think are important for you to consider when you are hiring an attorney. Just dispel the entire notion of the size of the office makes a difference, because it doesn't. You should look at the way that the office is organized as far as papers and is it a mess. That's important. And then again, take with a grain of salt the size of the support staff, because you're not hiring the support staff, you're hiring the attorney. I have known plenty of small firms and solo practitioners that were in small, organized offices with minimal, if any, support staff, who were excellent attorneys and did a great job representing their clients. And I just don't want you guys to be fooled by an attorney that might have an extravagant office but isn't as experienced as another who might have a smaller office is. Don't be fooled by the office size and the support staff size, and don't judge a book by its cover. It's never been more true than in hiring a lawyer. Lawyers are a dime a dozen. You can drive down your street and you could probably find 15 lawyers. So it's a challenge to locate one that's going to communicate directly with you and not pawn you off, one that is able to handle your case at an affordable rate. And I just want to share that information with you because plenty of people have called my office or called me and said, oh, I had this other lawyer and I was very disappointed. It was such a nice office, yet he was not attentive, or he was disorganized, or he just didn't seem to have the skill necessary to handle my case. But it's always like, but he had such a nice office. And I'm trying to explain it doesn't matter because you're hiring the attorney. So if you would like more information about this topic, you can check out my blog post over at either pjlesq.com or at utlradio.com. The post is on both sites. And if you have any additional questions that you'd like answered, you can contact me. And that's what this whole channel is about. It's about you having an avenue to contact somebody and say, hey, what do you think about this? Or hey, I don't know how to do this, and I need help, because law and business are very confusing. Especially when you don't understand the legal field and you don't understand how it works, and what things you should be looking at and focusing on. And I wanted to make it easier for everyone out there to be able to get a handle on legal issues and either representing yourself, or if there is that time when you do need to retain a lawyer, what to look for when you're searching for that attorney. So please feel free to contact me. You can do so via email at pl@pjlesq.com. You can also go directly to the contact pages on either pjlesq.com or at utlradio.com. As a matter of fact, on utlradio.com, you can record your business or legal question directly from your computer to the site. And if you'd like, we can use that question during one of our upcoming podcast episodes. Also, you can leave comments on the YouTube channel, and I really would encourage you to do that. If you have a question, or even if you want to just tell me, hey, this video is great, or hey, this video stinks, leave a message, leave a comment below this video in the comments section. And one final thing, please make sure that you share this information with your friends, your family, your colleagues, and let them know about utlradio.com, your business success and legal information station. I'll see you next time.